The top 7 craziest experiments ever conducted in science. 1. The Invisible Gorilla Experiment. In this experiment, participants were asked to watch a video of people passing a basketball and count the number of passes. However, during the video, a person dressed in a gorilla suit calmly walked through the scene. Astonishingly, half of the participants didn't notice the gorilla at all. This experiment highlighted the phenomenon of inattentional blindness, where people fail to perceive unexpected objects in their visual field. 2. The Milgram Experiment. Conducted in the early 1960s, this experiment aimed to study the willingness of participants to obey authority figures, even if it required inflicting severe harm on others. Shockingly, the majority of participants followed the instructions and administered what they believed were highly painful and even lethal electric shocks to an actor. This study revealed the disturbing power of obedience to authority. 3. The Stanford Prison Experiment. Taking place in 1971, this social psychology study aimed to analyze behavioral responses to perceived power structures. Participants were randomly assigned roles as either prisoners or guards in a simulated prison environment. The experiment had to be terminated after only 6 days due to the profound psychological effects it had on the participants, who became distressed, abusive, and even exhibited signs of psychological trauma. 4. The Monster Study. Conducted in 1939, the Monster Study involved orphan children being subjected to experimental therapy designed to induce stuttering. The experiment was highly controversial and ethically questionable, as it resulted in the psychological harm and permanent speech problems for many of the participants. The study spurred significant changes in ethical guidelines for human experimentation. 5. The Pigeon-guided Missiles. During World War II, renowned behaviorist B.F. Skinner proposed using pigeons to guide missiles. The idea was to train pigeons to peck at a target image on a screen, which would then guide the missile towards the same target. Though the concept was never put into practice, it showcases the outlandish ideas that emerged from the war. 6. The Aversion Project. South Africa's apartheid-era military conducted the Aversion Project between 1971 and 1989. It involved unethical and brutal aversion therapy aimed at curing homosexuality and preventing the formation of relationships between members of the same sex. Countless men and women were subjected to electroconvulsive therapy and harmful drug treatments, leading to immense suffering and lifelong psychological damage. 7. The Monster Study 2.0. In 1939, more than 20 years before the initial Monster Study, another similar experiment was conducted. This time, however, the subjects were children with speech problems. They were constantly told their speech was worse than it actually was, leading to lowered self-esteem and a negative impact on their speech development. Like the original Monster Study, this experiment faced severe ethical backlash as it also caused significant harm to the participants. Tell others what you think in the comments. Have a nice day.